Number 7 is bad fats. And it's not what you usually hear that saturated fat is bad fat, because saturated fat is very stable and it is safe to consume. It's a very stable source of energy and it doesn't cause any inflammation in the body. The bad fats are damaged fats, and these are trans fats primarily that they realized how bad they are, so now they're moving away from trans fats, but instead they tell us to start consuming vegetable oils. And these are not vegetable oils at all. They're seed oils, they're grain oils, and they're legume oils. And the problem with these is that they have too much omega-6. A little bit of omega-6 is okay, but today we're getting like 20 times more omega-6s than we should have, and most of that is coming from these so-called vegetable oils. Now the problem, even bigger problem, is that they're processed so harshly. They have to use high temperature, high pressure, and chemicals to get the fat, the oil, out of these sources. And in doing that, they damage the oils and they oxidize it. So now we have another source of excess oxidation and free radicals. And another source of bad fats is fried foods. When you use vegetable oils, because these are already damaged, they're already high in omega-6s, and now when you fry things and you reuse that oil over and over, you're just increasing the damage and that oxidation over and over. Number 8 is anything that increases food sensitivities, and one thing that can do that is called lectins, and they're usually associated with a group of plants called nightshades. And nightshades are things like eggplant, bell pepper, tomato, and potato. There's many more, but these are probably the ones that people consume the most. However, it's not just these nightshades, but grains like rye, barley, and rice also have lectins. And the biggest grain to stay away from is modern wheat, because it is processed, it is hybridized in so many different ways. It's not really a food anymore. And it is also the richest source of gluten and the type of gluten that people tend to react to. And then there's something called the gut-brain axis. So if we disrupt the gut bacteria and we damage that mucus protection, we get leaky gut. Now all sorts of things start leaking through, getting into the bloodstream. And anything that gets into the bloodstream, anything that causes a leaky gut will tend to create a leaky brain. And now the things that get out into the bloodstream are going to circulate and start creating brain inflammation, which can be very damaging and really progress the development of dementia. But again, this does not mean that these are bad foods. It's going to be important for some people to avoid this, but if you start restoring your microbiome, if you start getting a healthy gut again, you can probably get to the point where these things do not become a problem.